All right. Welcome to another day of this business analysis session. We have Priya, Diptike, and Chanchal and Nisha. And I think Mayank will join while we would be recapping. So let me start sharing my screen as well. So meanwhile, before we start, would you like to share something what exactly happened after you are done with yesterday's session? Who can grab and share something? What the means? Did you forget about the classes, or you continue thinking about because this is the dream we are aspiring to, become a product owner or business analyst or scrum master, right? So would love to hear from you because it gives more direction towards what we are doing together. Yeah. So you can be honest and share no thoughts about this, and we got into our daily life, or we have some different thought about some certain creation what we did in last time as an assignment. So who would like to share first? Yeah, Diptike, I see
Yeah,
you.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go. I was thinking of checking the video one more time because
Mm-hmm.
I like to see what I miss. Sometimes you get lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but I couldn't do that. So um, like these are super crazy. So I'm sure I will do it
Awesome.
before this weekend. I
Awesome.
want
And
to, yeah.
thank you for being honest and sharing, and this is is what we needed. Okay. And yeah, who would like to go next?
Yes,
Anyone?
sir, I would like to.
Yes, Priya, please.
Okay, so yeah, the same reason as Deep told, was going to go through the videos this weekend. And yeah, from what I remember, we went through the BRD we prepared and what Deepti prepared individually. And we went through pivot tables, the importance of Excel
Mhm.
for this role.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, amazing. Wonderful. And thank you for sharing. So anyone would like to add something what exactly happened after the session got over? And it's okay to forget about what exactly we have learned and go back into life, and again realizing, oh, we have something as a dream. Yeah, Mayank, I saw you have unmuted. Yeah.
No, it was a very interesting session. We talked about various important things in various ways. One of the things we talked about was Excel, and we talked about the various the V loop, the concata, and the sum. And we were told to take a look at those some of the videos on YouTube, which I did, and at some of the concata and the V loop and the sum, and there's some interesting tool I didn't know about. So
Oh,
I'm glad
wow. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Mayank, for sharing and being honest. Anyone would like to add something over here, or we can get
I
ahead? Yeah, yeah,
I
Nishaji,
tried
please.
to I tried to brush up my Excel.
Mm-hmm.
I know Excel basics, but I don't think I have really used it in the past
Mm-hmm.
10 or 15 years as such. So
Mm-hmm.
I just was trying to even figure out all the basics. Like, of course, you can remember, but I haven't really used Excel in my life, in my career. I was more into the designing end, so never really needed to use it. So I was just trying to remember things which we must have probably done 20 years back.
Still nice. Good, good, good. So all
Awesome.
of you did spend your time. Yes, yes, Gaurav. Yeah, continue. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So let me start sharing the screen, then I will hand over to you, Nisha,
Sure,
Prerna ji.
sure.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to see that even after having your daily chores and other activities, you still did take out time and go, gone through the videos or things. See, I just want to highlight one thing, guys. This is a continuous learning, right? So it is not like yesterday we had the particular session, so and we recommended you going through some videos. It's basically an ongoing activity, and you never know what learning or what knowledge will help you. So yesterday's all that functionality, pivot tables or concat array or some average or whatever we just discussed, there is a lot to it. Okay, Excel is very, very in depth. Even I am learning on that part, because many a times you use different functionalities, different like graphs, pie chart, many things are there. Not necessarily that every organization uses all that, but it's up to your individual level, how much is your liking, or I don't know, how much you want to go ahead. So it's absolutely a self-learning track itself, and you can explore it. And there is variety of videos, variety of blogs or sites. So, but that really helps as a BA, as a Scrum Master, as a functional what I would say resource, as a functional as working on functional side of IT, having Excel skills is really helpful, which goes in the long way. And it's nice to have, it feels good that okay, I know this, I can work on this. That even boost up your confidence a little. Yes, Gauravji, can we move ahead to the next slide?
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So assignments, yesterday, I suppose we didn't give any assignment as such, apart from going through the videos and self-learning part. And I remember Usha ji asking about updates, if we have any inputs for BRD. I think Usha ji, Gaurav ji, I think you are with me on this. We can do that BRD discussion whenever we have a session, when we have hands-on, like when I will share how to make pivots, or when we have some other actual practice sessions, that then we can go in detail. Today we will focus on our subject. Is it okay with you, Gauravji?
Sorry, was talking on mute. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, should I move to next slide?
Yes. So I just want to ask a quick question for everybody. Business analytics and stockholder management. Anybody has any doubts after once yesterday we finished the session, and then when you went back and you get a chance to look at the video again, and still if you have any kind of question, confusion, this is the forum. Please go ahead and ask if you feel like. If not, you can always park the question. We can come back to it later. Okay. Yes, and this is my favorite assignment. Are you guys watching recording videos? So please, it is not mandatory that you have to sit and look at the videos. Just switch on your Bluetooth and increase the speed of the video little bit, and you can do it while doing any other chores. Like ironing clothes, maybe eating, walking, whatever activity you're comfortable. Please listen. I know it's very difficult to give dedicated time, but please allot some time to this activity. It is very important. Okay. So now moving to today's session. Yes, Gauravji, we can. So a very good evening and welcome to today's session, wherein we are gonna learn about information management. That this is it with continuation with yesterday's stockholder management and stuff. So that part, and then we have a lot of interesting models and diagrams which we will be learning today. Those are business analysis modules, which are activity diagram, mind map, product roadmaps, SWOT analysis, fishbone diagram, and process flow diagram. I'm sure you might have heard or read about these diagrams on some blogs, or while talking to somebody. These are the words, especially people who done PMP or PMI, or on functional side, or working as a proper BA, they do use. So yes, a lot in store today. Are you guys all up for it? Does this sound interesting? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
these
Yes.
don't
Yes,
look
for sure.
unfamiliar. Yeah.
Great, great, great. See, the names are very interesting and they all have a purpose why those, fishbowl diagrams, so you'll actually realize it does look like a fish, and mind maps and activity diagram, which actually depicts activity. So all that is pretty interesting. So before starting that, I would like to start with information management. And yes, Gauravji, can we move on to slide, please?
Yeah, sure. So go ahead. Yeah. So
Okay.
can we discuss something, Prerna ji, because I am in process of allowing one more student and I don't want him to miss before you start this. So
Yes, yes, please.
yeah, just give me a moment. Will be stopped, and meanwhile would encourage you to ask some question to Prerna ji. Okay, so while I'm stopping the screen share, if you have anything in your mind.
Yes. So I know Monday and Tuesday are back-to-back classes, so it's a little tough for you guys also to go through because the time in between is a little less. But I suppose before having next session, you can go through the videos or any other good or authorized website. I mean to say PMP website or a Scrum Alliance or these such websites. They go as per standard. They follow the details as per the book, a PM book or BM book. So all these information are validated. Many a times, what happened? Different blogs or different websites do have some at times clashing information. Not to the contrast, but some information may vary. That's why I remember Gauravji had shared earlier some websites. So if you have any, if you want to know anything more about it, you can always ping us or message us or where should we, read or watch. You can simply Google also, no doubt. Also, I would even share one YouTube channel. I mean, ours is definitely there. My voice is echoing, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah,
Am I
Prerna ji.
am I good to go?
Yeah. In bit it was choppy, but yeah, can continue.
Okay. So I was just discussing with them to Google out and go through Guru School's videos and try to get information from the proper website. So yes,
Mhm. Okay.
today we are here to learn about information management. Sounds very interesting to me. It is, which indeed it is. But tell me, what is information management as per your understanding? What do you feel is information management? Anybody can.
So before you guys answer, let me ask a new joinee. So is it somehow Rahul who is this Prakrit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Welcome, Rahul. We have just started. Yes, guys. So please carry on and start capturing the opportunity and answer, Prerna ji. What comes in your mind?
Yes. Hey Rahul, a very good evening to you and welcome to the first class. You have joined at a very good timing where we'll be learning very interesting concepts today. So I'm starting with information management, which is a very vast and interesting subject. And please do not worry; it does not depend on any other subject. It's independent, independent understanding. So when I say information management, what all thoughts you have in your mind? Anybody can answer this. And Rahul, this is an interactive session. Yeah, so you are very much free to share. Yes, please
Is
go
it
ahead.
collecting the information, then storing it, modifying it, processing it, and distributing it to in the requested
Wow,
format or
wow,
whatever?
very well drafted. Very well drafted. Yes. Anybody else?
As the word says, managing the information where
Mm-hmm.
it can be synthesized in the best possible way.
Okay. That's also fine. Anybody else?
Prerna, this is Rahul.
Yes, Rahul?
Yeah, I think it's basically managing, controlling, and processing of information in the organization through various tools like operations, um, and people and management. Because basically, what you want to do is you want to control and disseminate information in a way so that it's more useful for the organization. It adds value for the organization rather than just um, redundant data information, because most of the organizations are going through this challenge, how to manage so much information. So that's why you have
Right.
this data visualization, data analytics, how to, make
Okay.
the best use of information or data.
Okay. So now let me tweak the question a little. Can anybody tell me what is the need for information management? I mean, why information management is there, or why organizations or companies implement that? Why? I mean, why it is so important?
To
What do you feel?
consolidate the vast
It's to
data
retrieve data,
Okay, to retrieve data.
retrieve, use,
consolidate.
and yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, it's fine, fine. Yeah, please. I want everybody to speak, so I would know what all is there in your mind, and then we can, go ahead with that. I'm
To
happy with your
consolidate
answers.
the wide range of data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and
Consolidate.
okay. I understand where you guys are coming from. Anybody else, first of all, before that? I suppose Nisha ji, Mayank, Priya, and Dipti, Chanchal, even Rahul had responded. Nice. So anybody else? I have a reason. There's a purpose why I'm asking this. Okay, fine. So before we start to know how information management works or how it is implemented, we need to know why it is important. So basically, for any organization, data or information is the key to everything. By that I mean, uh, the data, the information that they have is used for making strategies, implementing processes, implementing projects, working on products. It's more or less, it's, I mean, I might not be wrong if I say that data is at times equivalent to the monetary profit of theirs, because data is that crucial. Data can be any format, information can be any format. It can be in the format of their strategies which they are going to put in for future implementation. It can be in the form of technology which they are working on or researching on. It can be in the form of employee research, or any type of data. It's not only IT data. It can be all the strategic decisions, senior management understanding or intelligence. So it is very vast. A vast amount of information is really a very important thing for every organization. And then uh, not every information has to be shared publicly. Like, for example, I work in Axis Bank, so not all the information is open to public, right? So like that, how that information has to be taken care of, how that information has to be not spread across. So all these things have to be managed well. So coming to that point, taking that point with the help of our these icons in this image. So leadership, operations, processes, data, and technology. See? So these are, I would say, 5 pillars wherein your information management is categorized and handled. Leadership, as in all the leaders and all the senior management MDs and all the super senior people who are the decision maker, who are the driving force, who are the strategy or policy creators, or they are actually channelizing the company or organization with their decisions and thoughts and all that, policy making, strategy making, plan making for future. So all that information has to be managed. And then when I say manage, it means it has to be stored, maintained, retrieved, shared with utmost diligence. So that is it. Leadership, whenever we use the word leadership in any organization, it means this, because all the senior people, super senior as in, the top of your organization structure, if you understand the pyramid, okay, those are the leadership guys, and those are very critical to every organization. They actually can change the face of your organization with their decisions and with their policies. So yes, that information. Operations, as in all other organized, all other teams, all other like maybe HR operations, finance, marketing, sales, all these operations and their policies and all the data that they require, like mostly apart from having some similarities, many a times even HR policies are particular to some of the firms. Like some firms give holidays to birthdays and anniversaries, some firms give like that, and it's a very simple example but that I could come up with. So at times you have special holidays, at times you have special perks and special benefits, and you can have like being in the bank, we do get some discounts, or or some early bird discounts to some websites, or some what I would say sales, and it happens in many organizations. Some of the organizations have linked up with some. So all these uh, information, all these special offers. So it depends on all the functions. You might have some specific rules to sales. Mine might be more knowledgeable about this part. They have some special set of data. They have some special graph and future trends which are not shared by anybody else, which are quite secretive for their own benefit, because on that their future plans or strategic plans are made. So yes, all the operations data is important. Processes, definitely what all we have learned a lot about processes in earlier sessions. Processes means simply means what is the rather a blueprint of your organization which you work on. There are specific processes, like some companies work on first name basis. In companies like organizations like banks and all, you follow the hierarchy. They are little more conventional in nature. About how you interact with seniors, and then there are processes about how to interact with customers. How to reach out to them, and there are some gifting policies that you cannot involve in some kind of friendly behavior or friendly what do you say, uh, like you cannot accept gifts, you cannot give gifts to the customers for in the process of attracting them. So these are like some processes or policies, I would call, which are there in every organizations. Many of them are open, but some of them are critical to their own organization, that might be related to profits. They might be related to their business plans and strategies, which they do not share. So this data is definitely very important. And coming to the data being the core of all that information, is all kinds of data: your past history, your future plans, your trends, your details of all the customers, or your middlemen, or your contacts, or your future customers which you are targeting, or everything. All that. Not only these, the technology part, the employee part, the resource data, every kind of data is very essential. And finally, coming to our what I would say, set of interest, or our section of the IT, mainly technology. So trust me, there's so much of innovation, what I would say, development, research going on in every sphere of technology in many of the big or small organizations. So all that data is very crucial. They are also called as business secrets, which they do not spill over outside, which is like the thing of their technology implementation. So all these things are very critical to every organization. So all of you gave uh, you know uh, on the point answer to, why information management or what is information management. So it simply is managing the data, understanding, and retrieving, working on it, how we can go ahead and how we can understand it. We can make reports and trends and graphs and all that. But why it is important, that also needs to be understood. That why why data is important for any organization. So this is the basic understanding which I suppose everybody should have whenever we talk about information management. Gauravji, would you like to add anything
Yeah.
to this?
Yeah, thank you, Prerna ji, for asking. Yes, I would like to ask rather something to people.
Sure.
How many of you would be interested to know about taking control of any subject? I know that when someone first would ask you some question and you have little bit of knowledge, or you could guess some work, but you are not confident enough. But there is a hack that you can get the control for that subject. And how to get that control, let me ask, how many of you would be interested to know that? Like, we are talking about information management system.
Me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So
I
who
would like
else?
to know.
Thank you. So I believe everyone with this answer. So who doesn't want? Rahul, you don't want to know this, or Mayank? And yeah, you want to know. Okay.
I want to know too, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Chanchal and Rahul, what about you guys?
Yes, I already said I would like to know.
Okay. So I missed that. No worries. So here the hack is, because Rahul don't want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the chat to especially you guys. So Rahul, you are not interested, right?
No, I'm interested, sir.
Oh, so I didn't hear. So anyways, so for everyone, here is the hack. Just you need to know one thing, and that one thing is called as knowing the entire life cycle. What's the word? Life cycle. And the moment you know the entire life cycle, you are completely confident, and you can guess, you can judge what is going to come next. And how did we learn it? We learn it through the last exercise where we were talking about data driven decision making, and we understood any problem will undergo 5 stages, where in between we will get the insight, then we will analyze, and then we will have data, and based on we will land to the outcome. So in the similar manner, if you understand any subject life cycle, you are on the verge of being master of that. So is it cool insight for you guys? Just master the life cycle. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Know the life cycle and you are the winner. So I'm sharing back to you, Prerna ji. You can lead from the next stage. Yeah, back to you.
Yes, thank you so much. Very, very well explained, and thank you so much for getting to this cycle, information management cycle. So yes, Gauravji rightly mentioned, to understand any concept or any topic, or to gather any knowledge, knowing the cycle, like when we talk about SDLC, software development life cycle, that cycle is important. When we talk about science, maybe weather cycle, all these things give us a path or a direction wherein we understand how that system works. Okay, how the system works. So information management cycle, as you can see in the diagram, it's very important, or rather it is the backbone of this entire process, because all that information or detail about services, applications, resources, your plans, that is important. So how do we go about it? Many of you have given some of the answers in my earlier question, like we analyze, we collect, we retrieve. So yes, more to that, this is the basic life cycle with the exact hit on the head points which you can remember for your reference. So starting with the plan, yes, there are so many documents, or digital information with related to, we will just stick to IT or technology, for our interest, because then if we talk widely about organizations, There are so many operations and so many teams. So for our interest and for our focus, as we are learning from IT point of view, I will stick to technology background. So yes, starting with the plan, you have to be well prepared, and you have to focus on preparing a plan of whatever information details you have, wherein you can actually uh, work, or you can envision that what your data would look like, or what are you working, or what are you planning to work with it. So for example, I have been given employee data, okay, sorry, not employee data, is vendor or customer data. What am I supposed to do with that? So if I'm an IT guy, I would like to know, a senior IT guy, I would like to know what kind of interest they have in the software or in the application. How can I approach them? How I can increase my vendors, when how can I increase my customer base. So that can be a part of your plan. Okay, so if I have some data, what are my plans with it? What I'm going to work with it. So that one, and that caters to all the teams. For example, if I give the same data to marketing guys, they would be more interested in how to increase a customer base by having marketing portfolios, by having marketing tactics, how they can attract more. So yes, every operations and every team works differently as per their agenda, but for that you should have a firm plan. Plans can be, definitely you can make a project plan in using Microsoft MPP. You can actually, it can be a digital plan, it can be an actual plan like how we have with architects and contractors, with the blueprints and all. So it depends if you're working in a paperless organization, or you give a lot of focus to paperwork and all that. So like in government firms, paperwork is still very essential and crucial. They don't, though there is a digitalization, but then still paperwork is important. So like that, depending on what kind of firm you come on, what kind of your organization structure and processes, that way you need to plan, create, collect, receive. So yes, everybody did talk about it. So we need to make sure the data is coming for authorized resources, like how I was sharing about the website, that you need to follow proper websites, the information is standardized or validated. So we need to collect data from our vendors, from our employees, from our resources, from our third party agents, or research, or analysis and strategies. So all that data needs to be created, collected, and received, as in you receive from multiple sources, right? You receive from your investigation agencies, like for example in medical research agencies, that the data is different, a lot of research involved. In IT, there's a lot of skills and resource and applications and technology data. So all that data has to be created and collated, and received very well, and managed accordingly, because that in future you'll be able to you need to analyze and ensure that the quality of data is right. See, try to understand, in every part of the world, or I would say IT, having data only is not important. The data has to be analyzed, and then it has to be ensured that it is of good quality. For example, with the earlier example I was sharing, that if I have vendor data, so I need to ensure that all these vendor data is important to my organization. It does not mean some of the vendors are not interested, still their data is there, and the data is not proper, is invalid, some of the details are outdated, and and then at times it's not useful. People are not interested, and their details are mentioned. So all these things need to be maintained. Like for example, you tell me, whenever you buy anything, when you buy a fridge, or any other equipment, maybe a laptop, we always look at the quality side of it, right? Along with the price and our budget and our features, right? The quality is very well tested, or we ensure that, because we're investing our time, money, and we need that thing. So yes, quality of data is very essential, is very crucial. And now this is a very interesting point. Determine access. So I would really like to ask everybody, and this is open for everybody. What do you mean by determine access about information management? What is the
Who
first
can
thing that comes to
access?
your mind? Mhm.
Who can access what data? Like
Very
I
well.
might have 10 files, but I want the sales team to access only X, Y, and Z. And the
Sorry,
marketing
Nisha ji. Can you be a
person.
little louder, please? Somehow I'm.
That is
Yeah.
who can access or have view certain files. If I have 10 files and I want 2 files to be viewed only by the sales section. So I will give
Perfect.
access rights to only the sales section for those 2 files. And the
Right.
other three for marketing, then the other 3 files I'll give access to only marketing
Right.
people.
Super. Super. Very well put. Anybody else would like to add to this as per their earlier example or sorry, under earlier experience or overall understanding?
Maybe the department related to that field should get the access of that information.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Very well put, Dipti. Yes. Yes.
so basically, it depends upon like it
Mhm.
has to go at a certain level only. It cannot be distributed throughout the management or throughout the office for every person.
Right. Very well put. Yes. Anybody else would like to add? Nisha ji, Mayank ji, and Rahul ji. Because it is important. Because it is very important. Not only managing and authorizing data is important. Who can access what? Like for example, I'll just give you a simple, real life, not story, but an example wherein when you join any organization as a junior resource, maybe a junior developer, junior BA, or any just entry level fresher, uh, do you get to see the project plan? Do you get to know the customer directly? Do you even what is the plan? Just tell me from your understanding. Is it a yes or no? I mean, does anybody even bothers to share or explain you what is the project plan like, or they just simply give you some task? Okay, do this. We have to finish this by this date. So, I mean, if anybody has a different experience, they can share. But as long as my understanding and my experience goes, when we are at a very fresher level, we are very naive, when new to the organization, or you have not reached to that level, a lot of data is not exposed. By saying exposed, that means it's not being shared. So that depends on operations and teams to teams. For example, we talked about leadership. So all the decisions taken by leadership, they will affect the growth of the company or organization. So and they are like trade secrets, more than business secrets. It's called as trade secrets, which is like particular to their business and very crucial to them. So those are not shared publicly, and those are not even shared to all the employees. It depends on who is involved in that process. So as Nisha ji rightly mentioned, all that files, data, information, policies need to be determined who can access what. Like for example, many of the HR policies are strictly for employees. They're not to be shared outside, or some of the accounting policies or taxation policies or some so with respect to banks, it's very much important for the shares and all other that stock market things. We are not supposed to or uh, advised to invest directly as we're working in banks, and other financial organizations. Employees are advised not to. So there are some unsaid and some very explicit rules or policies wherein who can access what, which is very important. All the business trends, future planning, that is very important and secretive to an organization, which will not be widely spread across. Simple examples like your own ATM pin, which you hardly share with anybody, rather not to be shared, but in case of emergency we might share with your spouse or with your parents. But just like that, how critical is that? Whereas other documents like your PAN card in case of India, or other social security number and all, you do share it across because it is required. So it's the simplest form of example, but yes, It depends on who can access what information, who have the exposure, and you can reach out to it. It's very essential. So organized file is nowadays it's mostly all is digitalized, but earlier there used to be very heavy file work, paperwork. But so as of now, how you manage all the products, projects, you can have portals
Yeah,
like
Prerna,
Jira. Yes, yes.
I think organized file would come before access, right? First you file organized data, then you would determine access. Because first you have to organize data into documents, then you would say,
Uh,
yeah, because then you would say who would access to data. And if you have not organized the data properly, how would you determine access? I think I should organize the data in the organization and then, determine access.
May I add something over here, Prerna
yeah,
ji?
sure, sure,
Okay,
sure.
so Rahul, understand the thing. What will happen if organizing file will go at the previous level? You will end up not following the next steps further, because this is a never ending process, and you will find that one fine day everything will be in the place and then I will commence. Okay, but in real time what exactly happens, organizing data is an ongoing process and it keeps on happening. However, we cannot prevent the stakeholders or whoever are the involved participant to access the data. Okay, so that's why first we collect and then we authorize, and whoever have got the access, they will start doing their activity, they will start undergoing. And meanwhile the business analyst or whoever is the responsible or controller, he will or she will keep on organizing the files as well. So did it answer you? Is only if you will stick up with this, that okay, it has to come at the prior level, the common sense, when you will apply, it will become the bottleneck for the rest of the phases. Do you get that?
But you're trying to say they both need to be done simultaneously in a way?
No. So first I'm telling that organizing file, which you are telling that it should come first, it won't come first. It is at this place only, because this is ongoing process. This will
Perfect.
continue happening. Yeah, Prerna ji, back to you.
See, Rahul, you rather, first of all, a very good question. But the thing is, when we talk about organized file, that means organizing data, which Gauravji rightly mentioned is an ongoing activity, because every day there's new learning, there is new trends, new graphs, new information coming in. So, and that is like a day-to-day job, which has to be done. So you are every day there is some new files. Like for example, I share a lot of reports on daily basis. Not which are like to study the trend, or to maybe the other team works on a graph and they try to understand how the trend is going. That can be with approaching customers and how we are doing in the market. So what happened, if I have to organize that data up, if I have to take that step upwards and determine access, then I might have to, it will be very haywire to, whenever a new information come, I have to again work on, okay, this information can be accessed by per se by Rahul, but not by Prerna, or maybe by Gaurav, but not by Mayank, and stuff like that. So it is not how we work in an organization. Organization have some set rules wherein, okay, for example, audit reports are very what I would say, pertinent to the organization. They are not to be shared with other teams. So yes, so that includes all the types of audit. That's just an example for understanding. For example, our sales plans, our development plans, if I have to call it. So those are like trade secrets to the company, which will not be shared with others. So any information coming in that category will not be shared, or without outside the team, or outside the board of directors, or outside the senior management or leader. So that is why we determine access first and then we organize data. So it is easier to categorize it. Have I answered your question, Rahul?
In a way, yes, probably.
Okay, so
Okay.
let
Uh-huh.
me add some more in detail over here. So as Nisha ji has rightly mentioned, data evolves with time as it is agile. So based on this, because we are working in agile mode, we cannot freeze something. Okay, so let us see this example. Our students has developed this BRD by themselves. Okay, I hope this is visible. No, if not visible, I am bringing it back. So now let me
Not
know
yet.
if
Yes,
so.
visible, visible.
Okay, so this one document, it has been created without any support by our entire student. So what they have done, when they were evolving this all, what exactly happened? They mentioned somewhere some references. Okay, you see here, there are some references, some documents. So if this is ready, at the next process, it has to be accessed by other people. But still, we may find that few area has not been disclosed. Like for example, if some certain module has some design has is not in the place, does it mean that our dev team will not start working in that? Hey, because it has some missing information. In that case, what will happen? The entire duration, the entire timeline will hamper, because we are waiting over here for some feedback from the customer. Does it mean that we won't start it further? We say, for example, here everything has been prioritized properly, and still say for example, customer said that what we will do, there are two items, we will talk about their priority in next section. So meanwhile, can we not start working on other area? Cannot tester will start writing test cases based on the references, ready references they have? They will, because coming back to this PPT, and I believe that PPT is available again on the screen. Yeah, can you see the, just a minute, can you
Yes,
see that? And
yes.
now, so this is ongoing process. You are organizing file. I showed you 3 file references because it was organized, and that's why it was included. Say for example, the 4th file was not available, not made available. Will it stop getting it evolved, as Nishaji also said? Because it is agile and data keeps on evolving, we cannot make it bottleneck, okay, by just pulling this organizing file above. Okay, we have to follow the rest of the process by creating, collecting data, then giving the authorization to these documents. Document is also evolving, and this, that's how the versioning comes in. So version 0.1 is ready, we have given the access, and we are already working on the next version, and we are still organizing the file, and then further we will give the access to the next version as well. Are you with me so far, Rahul?
Yes, yes, okay.
Okay, and I would also suggest you that go through some prior video of agility, where you will understand agility is not rigidness. Agility is somewhere close to flexibility, and it also varies organization to organization. Okay, if organization would say that we will follow certain process, they will follow that. And once you have the experience in one organization, tomorrow you're shifting in another one, you cannot say that I am coming from this XYZ organization, I have this experience, and this is the process, this is how it should be in your organization as well, because agility gives that flexibility for the organization to switch, tweak, and act. So this is the entire process. So it's all about the mindset. So if you have this foundational mindset, you would be ready to accept without being rigid and still act.
But I want to point one thing, sir. Agility and flexibility are similar, but they are still different.
Thing. Yeah. Just for reference, I'm just telling you, because when you will undergo the entire training, you will get to know what are the differences, what are not, and you are coming from the experience, you would be knowing everything. So the main key point I wanted to highlight, openness to adapt the new process will keep on changing. Okay, and but when we are talking about the life cycle won't change. Okay, life cycle has to undergo certain stages. Okay, because say for example, I cannot I cannot amend any policy without issuing it, right? It has to be issued first, and then the amendment process will happen. First, customer has to come into existence. He has to accept the policy, and tomorrow if he realizes after 6 months, okay, some slight amendment has to happen, he can inform. Without being a customer, he cannot go that I don't have policy but I want amendment. Without having a policy, how come the amendment will happen? Okay, so these are just example. I know, means you are just getting into the mid of it, so there will be a slightly changed flavor, and that's why system wise, be a scrum part also, I gave you the Scrum Agile YouTube video to undergo. Okay, so I think for now I have answered this, that why organizing file has come at this point. And thank you for asking this question, because this was very valid and to clarify for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Gauravji, for adding.
Yeah.
So now moving on to document and describe. Yes, so document and describe means whatever documentation you are having, whatever data you have, that needs to be properly maintained with detailed description. A simplest example I would like to share is in technical terms, whenever we write any code or piece of code, we always it's a good practice rather to have comments on it. So I don't want to go far. The simplest or the very recent example we just Gaurav just shared about our BRD. So in that BRD, we had all the description of who is the project owner. Rahul ji, it might be a little new for you, but others have this understanding. So I'm just sharing this example. But I think you have worked as a BA, so you know what is a BRD is more or less, right? Absolutely, Raja. You are an expert. So for example, whenever we have an BRD, so we all have the information. What is the versioning of the BRD? Who is the owner? Who is who is the Scrum Master? Who is the project manager? What all data that have? So all these information related to the document. So document slash describe is mentioned accordingly. That all that has to be maintained properly and it has to be documented that well. How we organize files is like by the way of what all documents are there. So for example, all the IT related policies or documents must be in one file or folder, digitally or physical files. So all that things needs to be documented with details of their inputs or whatever data we have in them. After that, once you even document this, the storing and backing up of data is very important. So today, as we live in a dynamic world, there can be any natural calamities, any software or hardware failure. So that's why we have this concept of DR, which stands for disaster recovery, which is very very crucial in banks per se. So what we have is we have backup of the backup. So for example, it's like your data is stored in one server in one particular location, per se Mumbai, and then that server's backup. I hope everybody understand when I say server. Server is basically a final repository of a digital repository of all of your digital information. So it's like a supercomputer, or with a large capacity servers. You have all the information, and then to ensure its security or safety, you even have a backup of that server to some another place. So in case of any technical or any weather or any natural calamities, all that data is retrieved, because the operations must go on, the show must go on. Banking and organization doesn't stop in any environment. You must be knowing, let it be floods and any other earthquakes or any other major issues. Still, the organization or companies, banks, they do work. So how they do work? How did they manage? Like for example, when I was a part of IndusInd Bank, a fire broke out there. The entire building was evacuated, and it was a real life incident. I was working there when it happened. So that did not mean that we stopped working, because we had our backups of all the data which were retrieved, and we started working on that. So yes, store and backup is very important, and that all information helps you to analyze, synthesize the data. As in, see, we have come to almost towards the end of the cycle, and when we have all this information, it is very important of how to use it, how to analyze it. Having the raw data is not that helpful unless you analyze it. So that is where therein the role of business analyst comes in. Like with respect to our learning, whenever we get any kind of data from a customer, or of any particular project or product, how we analyze that data is very essential and very important. So that is again the key. And then I think I've shared enough on this: share and distribute. So who can view the data? Like HR holiday policies are open for all, but maybe some taxation policies or some internal company related information, that is definitely not open to all. So all this information, how to be shared, with whom to be distributed, like vendor details, customer details, those are never shared with any outside organizations. Even within organizations, you have access rights to it. Like maybe only senior authorities or managers can view it, like that. For example, appraisal information, not everybody can view it. Only the seniors in the hierarchy can view it. So all these things are very important. And finally, coming to the dispose, so active or destroy. So why do we need to dispose or destroy this documentation or the data when it is so important? So on a practical in the practical scenario in day-to-day life, the data volumes are very high. You keep getting so many reports, so many information. So that is like ever growing, and it's like just increasing day by day. But then you just can't save all that data forever. It's like it's not even feasible. And also when I talked about servers and other storage, that involves cost, right? Those are like heavy machineries or heavy softwares, and their location, their maintenance, it's all is a cost to the company. It's not free of cost. So for that, the data which is no longer important, like for example, just a hypothetical example, guys. As of now, the data of 80s and 90s, 18 that era is not important. Some companies might keep it for the trends. I'm not sure, but many a times, if once the data is outdated, like for example, when we work on technology, so earlier technology information which is outdated now, which no more is using, that can be scrapped, right? And that is rather scrapped. So data destruction or removal of all that data, is is typically done from your archived, or all that data which you have stored, and which is very important because this phase of life cycle is need to be ensured that data is properly destroyed and it is not in the hands of any other person which are not supposed to have it. And data can be can have certain timelines. Like there are some policies which are for particular time. Like for example, now we are working from home in this pandemic situation, so we have some additional set of policies applied currently, which are specific to a pandemic situation, which are not applicable to, like for example, in banks we were not given work from home. Due to the current situation, our networks have been allowed, restriction has been set up for some, has been lifted for some time. So all these things, so see, it's it's a very vast topic which cannot be covered in one session per se, but I'm just trying to introduce you to some concepts or some understandings of how things work. Then you can definitely have your own self learning and research on reading. So it's a vast topic itself, but then why it is important and how it is done, that is very crucial, right? So Gauravji, if you would like to add something on this, otherwise I can move to next slide.
Yeah, definitely. So I just wanted to ask one thing, because this could be one of the information. So this information is like when we were talking about organizing file and document, then this question may come up, that how come you are putting document next, and then what you are doing, you're then you are asking for the, or introducing here storing and backup and entire next process. So now answer me this question. So if I will keep on adding the newer version and organizing the file, does it mean that I'm until I'm not described, or any document has not been described to me, I cannot work upon that? So if you will end up finding these things and won't ask such questions, you will find that nothing has been progressed. And that's the reason this is the similar order. So at a times it may happen like one document has been given and no walkthrough has been mentioned. The tester does not have any knowledge about it, that what exactly will happen next. So most of the time tester know that walkthrough is the next process. So there are two kind of tester in the waterfall model, or in earlier days what kind of tester used to be, they used to sit and even developers, they didn't even start the work until the walkthrough didn't happen. But they were told that because you are you are having this common sense, you can read through it by your own. Wherever the clarity is not there, you can wait for walkthrough, or you can just walk yourself to the business analyst and get the clarity. But whatever data you can prep, just do that and keep going. Okay, so that's one thing. But second thing, this mentality, as I say, that this entire thing, which we call it as a be agile scrum, will it is made up of three ages. One is what? Soft skill set. Also the foundation level, the base is called as mindset. And what exactly happens, why people don't learn a new thing? So I want to emphasize over there before we move to the next one. Why we don't learn new thing? Because we have so much of prior information and prior experience, we start judging them. And what is the biggest enemy of the success? The assumption part. You can't assume the entire path by just watching one pothole coming on after second step or third step. That entire path is made up of the potholes only. So that's why we don't have to assume anything, because this is the biggest enemy. You have to just keep in mind, keep on getting confirmation. And that's why the flow of communication comes in, which we have talked in the last lecture about the communication and some traits of stakeholders. Okay, when we were talking about stakeholder management system, and when we are talking about that, you need to adapt those traits. Also I want to bring over here the key area where you need to talk to yourself. Why this talking is very, very important. When you are going to write something, and when you have self-analyzed, and when you have self-talked, then you are getting better clarity before penning it down on the paper. Okay, so you have to verbalize first and then actualize next, and that's how things will evolve, okay, in the reality. And that's the reason I keep on asking you to do some exercises. Those could be verbalizing exercises, or with doing some action through your hands and palms, something like that, because it creates it ignites your creative power to think in a different way. Otherwise what will happen, your new neuro network will not develop inside the brain, and this is new things you won't even accept, because it is coming from the belief system. So the more you know the prior data will create the belief, that will create the pattern, and when it may become the bottleneck for the new system to enter in, and you will not even accept the new methodology, new approaches. And that's such organization, they don't even match up the what do you call comparison or speed or competition in the market, and they simply collapse. So on this note, we will go further. I want you to just give yourself high five and tell this: I am an awesome learner. Just tell yourself like this, give yourself high five and say this aloud with me: I am an awesome learner. If one can learn anything in this entire world, I too can learn that. And with this note, we can get inside. I hope you have done so, because camera is not on. So yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank
moving.
you so much for adding this. So yes, as
Anji,
we
I was not able to hear you clearly, and same thing is happening with Prerna ji also now. Like your voice is going
Is
really
it?
down. Yeah.
Is it happening with only you or any other is also facing that problem?
Guys, did it, if you have not heard me, please
No,
tell.
it's fine for me. It's
No,
Okay,
we
cool.
heard you, but the
Yeah,
voice
it's
is like
audible.
very, very low.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I think Nishaji, there could be network at your end, which could be, smart. So yeah, because other people just heard it, so we can say
No,
that
I
only.
also heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only the
Okay,
pitch was
might be.
low. Yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
Nishaji,
Yeah.
maybe just increase your volume a little bit more, I would say. Just
Yeah,
try
I did
doing
that.
that.
And it was Dipti, not Nisha.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Dipti. Yeah.
No problem. That's okay. I know because you couldn't
Gaurav ji,
see our faces, so you might be getting confused. That's absolutely
No,
fine.
no. Are you able to hear us
I
now?
did everything, but I'm now gonna try something else.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
guys can continue. I'm just gonna try with the
Okay. Yeah.
hands free now.
And
Super.
thanks for letting us know. We will be more careful. Yeah. Rahul. Yes.
yeah, can you go back to that screen where you had the information management cycle? We had so many steps. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, as you and Prerna talked about that even in determined access, you need with whom you should need, as share the data with. For example, I'm being in accounting. I know that the payroll data can only be, shared with only the people who, get the payroll check. I understand that. I have been in accounting, the budget department cannot, share data with along the whole organization. Otherwise, it creates legal problems and so forth. I understand that. But even shared distribute is also, kind of, determining whom to share data with. So what's the difference between share, distribute, and determine access? Because in
Okay.
determine access, you were talking about, you cannot share data with these people. You can only share payroll data with, certain groups of people. Like financial data, you can only share with the upper management and so forth. You all know that everyone knows that. So what's the difference between these two?
Determine access and come again. What's the difference between determine access as well as
Share,
Share
distribute.
distribute.
okay. This one. Where is the distribute?
Share. Yeah, second last.
Okay. Second last. Yeah. So yes. So Prerna ji, would you like to add or?
Yes. I would like to start.
Yeah, sure.
So, Rahulji, with respect to every organization, we need to, as I mentioned earlier, we need to make sure who has access to what, right? Like as you gave a perfect example of, per se, payroll information and all. So even if I have, for example, even if I have the access to it, I get my payroll or payslip monthly. Everybody does. So does that mean that data is ready to be shared with outside public? For example, my appraisal or my annual review details, that data is again very sensitive, and it has not been even not everybody's. For example, individual have access to their own portfolio, their own review. But does that data, okay, even though I have the access to it, does that mean I should be sharing that data with outside public or with other employees? So, taking your example only, that is the difference. Even if I have the access to it, that does not mean I can share that data. Or at times, if I have access to that data and that data needs to be shared with employees or vendors, I can definitely go ahead and do that. So that is a thin line between this, that even though I have access information or access rights of particular data, that data being sensitive cannot be shared across organization or across teams also. So that was
So you're
from my
saying,
side.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So later on, you determine after analysis that whom to share data with, right? Then.
Exactly. You have the access. See, for example, maybe Mayank might relate to this. You have the sales reports and, maybe sales plans for future and all. Even as an employee, Mayank must be having, access to it. But that doesn't mean he can go ahead and share it with some of his friends or outside
Oh,
organization.
yeah, I
Definitely.
understand that completely. I understand,
Yes.
but because you're sharing, because you're saying determine access and share, you're talking about shared
Yes.
data also. So I found a commonality and wanted to clarify that.
Okay, no, definitely. This is the platform to clarify. I'm happy that you're coming up with these doubts because see, these is very and I suppose we take this thing very on a very casual basis. Okay, data information, but then No, ask people who work in data science or who are working in medical research or other organization or even in IT. Data is very crucial. It is as good as profits for them. So they do not share the data. It's very much secured and safely safeguarded, I would say, and it is not to be shared very casually. It has to we should know who is our audience or who should be the viewer. So
Yeah,
Gauravji,
because
would
I
you
can,
like?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I can
I'm
relate to
happy.
that
I could.
because my wife is a dentist and it's her job to, secure all our patients' data. So I can understand how that works because she
Perfect,
has to be very
perfect.
careful with, the
Yeah, so
patient.
she doesn't. She will definitely not be sharing the details with everybody and in anybody. So yes, you got it right. So
Yeah.
Gauravji, if you would like to add something, you can go ahead, or we can
Yeah,
move to next slide.
only one thing. Things are here evolving. Share and distribute, published. And once published, get distributed to the intended participants. So that only I
Perfect.
just wanted to add. Yeah.
Which
Intended
means
participant
send
is the
people.
exact word. Yeah,
So
somebody
does
said
it
something.
mean you send an email or something to people that, hey, you have these files if you want to access them or something? Does this share and distribute?
Instead of sharing them on file, we see, for example, not all the documentation is shared via mail. First of all, mostly all the organizations have their portals, user management portal, HR portal, taxation portal, payroll portal. So you are given access accordingly.
SharePoint, something like that.
Yeah, SharePoint, Jira, anything, whichever you work on. I'll give you a simple example. We have a project management portal in our organization. So I, as a PMO, have access of all the projects. I have access of all the projects, but I have a view access, as in I can just view the details because all these projects are under my vertical. But then, as I'm not tagged to any particular project as a project manager, I cannot edit or change them. So for example, per se, if Gauravji is a project manager of, say, information management project, he will have access to that project. Nishaji is a project manager of stockholder management project. She will have access of that project. So they will not have access of each other's project. So instead of getting mails, you have this access privileges in the system. So accordingly, all of you have access of particular modules, and you can edit, update, maybe delete, or at least mark for deletion. There's no proper delete, soft delete. So all that thing can be done in the portal. So everybody is given visibility as per their what do you say, experience and level in organization, their seniority and their importance in that particular project. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, Gauraji, we can move to the next slide, please.
Yeah, so just to support you, Prerna ji, what I am going to do, I'm going to pause this recording for a while, and in the real time manner, I'm once again bringing this Kanban board in Jira, where I'll tell you guys that how it looks like. Okay, so
Perfect.
yeah, so just give me a second. I have paused the screen share, and I'm going to pause the recording as well for a moment. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
welcome.
Prerna
Yeah,
ji. Yeah, and thank you
Gauraji.
for asking this question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
can we please go to the next
Yes,
slide?
yes,
Yes.
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 Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So, information technology book of knowledge shares this management processes wherein information technology, information system, business process, business benefit, and business strategy. So all these things simple means information technology means all the skills we have. Those are in a way converted into projects. Information system means all this entire vertical of information technology as a system, as an operation, how it helps towards business change or business needs, and all that when implemented in a policy or process, how ultimately helps a business to earn benefits, and then overall, as you're benefiting from the projects, you're making profits, you're growing as an organization, how you go ahead and perform that into business strategy, that is performance management. I would recommend and I would really highlight again, there are many new words, new terminologies in today's session with respect to information technology, but do not get scared by them. It is absolutely, they are very easy to understand and easy to refer terminologies. And after a couple of times, once you hear the session in a couple of times or you read through, you will get a hang of it. So to explain this chart better or diagram better, I would request Gauraji to go on next slide, please. Yes. So what did I mean by information technology in the earlier diagram, which I think you can see in the small slides. So information technology, this is just a hit on the head points for you to go ahead and explore more. So information technology comprises of hardware and software. When I talk about technology, that means all the skills, all the physical machinery you have in the organization. Information system means the IT built into a system that meets business needs and policies. That means, okay, we have the hardware and software. What's next? So we have people who work on them. We have projects, so those are being implemented. And why all this is happening? All this is happening because we need to work or meet the business expectation. That is, work on the projects and follow the policies. Security policies, your adherence to rules, policies, all that has been done. And that is the difference between information technology and system. Technology is simply having the software and hardware and machinery in place, but how to work on that, how to have a team who works on all this very well and align that with your business goals. So when you are equipped with all this information, how you implement that on developing projects or making profits for the organization, coming up with good policies. So that is information systems. Business information is created by analyzing and contextualizing data using tools. So tools, Gaurav had shared just now. We're talking about Jira, Trello. So there might be there are such tools which are used to analyze how the data or information we have with business, that can be of future customers, that can be of future trends, that can be of future markets that they want to capture, financial markets want to invest into research or into medical, into education, into farming, into anything. So all that information for future growth, for business trends, that is analyzed and understood with the help of these tools, similar tools. So business processes means how to evaluate and use the information to make decisions. So for example, okay, I'll just give you again. It's around our breakfast time. So coming back to the food related example, I have all the ingredients or raw materials to make per se a biryani. But does that make a biryani by itself? No. I have rice, I have spices, I have vegetables, I have whatnot. But then when I actually put it to use, when I evaluate, when I implement it, then I get an outcome of a perfect dish. Same is implemented with business. I have the data, I have the charts, I have the graphs, I have the pie chart, I have everything, I have pivots. But then when I analyze, when I understand it, and then I can make, diligent decisions, I can make appropriate decisions which are useful for the organizations, for their growth, for their prosperity, for higher profit. So yes, business benefit, the desired advantage the business information will provide. So yes, when we use the processes implemented in the organization in a positive manner, in a creative manner, we implement all this information well, that would intend in business benefit. So when you, for example, when we are learning agile and stuff, when we are implementing projects, we're delivering on time, the customer is happy, definitely that will in turn result in business benefits. You will get more when the more customers, you'll get more work, you'll get bigger projects, and you will grow events. So that is the understanding by that. And business strategy is basically a super master plan wherein, yes, and I think I had shared this earlier slides also. Strategies are basically the ideas or thoughts or plans, or they are totally based on the experience and knowledge of your seniors, which will help the organization as a whole to grow and to expand and to make better and higher profit. So that is why the leadership, the senior management is of such great importance, because their knowledge base itself, its real life experience is so vast that ultimately it helps for the betterment of the organization. So in every aspect. It might mean growing customer base, it's, employee welfare, or growing profits, understanding different markets, any and everything. So information management itself is a very big mountain to conquer, but we have given you a very highlighted and hit on the head glimpse of it for your understanding. I hope you have had a decent understanding, or at least some face off with, okay, what is this? This is what is information management. So, and even we have come towards end of the today's session also. So please, the forum is open. If you have any doubts, any thing you want to brush up upon, you're all, please go ahead and share with us, or you want to add something. Or I would request Gauravji to add if you want to add something particularly about this.
So thanks for adding the example, Prerna ji. And just to support that, I wanted to tell you one thing, that yeah, in the process, what may happen, you may come across the new terminology. Always keep that in mind. Nothing is rocket science, okay? And as I can tell you that how you can learn anything minimum in 3 days, and if you really want to know, start practicing whatever the quicker hacks I keep on sharing with you. And if you are really interested to know at the deeper level, I know that couple of you have already gone through, my one-to-one session, personal clarity session. You can also, if you have not done that, go ahead, grab that opportunity, and in that you can ask me, because this is something value add, and we believe in over delivering, and that's why you will keep on experiencing something extra, but be ready for that. Okay, so nothing is rocket science, and you can learn anything and everything in this entire world. So that's the only ending line from my end, Prerna ji. Yeah.
Superb. So if anybody doesn't have a question right now, it's absolutely fine. We can have a brush up in the next session. You can think about it, ponder upon all this information, because there's a lot to digest. I can totally understand. So yes, Gauravji, your favorite, or rather our favorite question of
So yeah, but before
towards the
that,
end.
I would like to open this forum for asking question in case you have, because we are focused today on this information management system subject. Yeah, I see Priya has unmuted herself. Yeah, Priya, go ahead. Okay, you just muted. Okay, who else?
Gauravji,
Yeah, Rahul.
I have a question on business analysis. I have actually a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Okay, so business analysis is not just IT, as you and Prerna very know. It's sometimes the analysis of business data in the whole organization. So my question is, would you teach business analysis for the whole organization also? Because sometimes analysis of data is not just related to IT, it's business data related to accounting,
So
finance.
let me ask you this thing. Okay, Rahul, have you gone through business analysis training at all? The training which we provide, means last 4 training has been done already. So have you gone through that? Any?
No, I'm not, because I'm just going through my own experience, because sometimes I've heard organizations make mistakes. They think business analysis is just IT. It's basically data of the whole organization. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you are going to learn everything related to business analysis. Okay, so be it at organizational level, be it at individual performance, be it at project level, because everything is a step by step journey. Okay, and you need to master each and everything. Okay, and we have come to the 5th session today, so still you will get the access of the remaining 4. And in case you have any question, because you will be joining in mid, you can anytime catch catch up with us, because every student have the access to me or Prerna ji. They simply message to us and we clarify their doubt, and sometimes we bump in the session directly so that it can clarify each and everyone. So yeah, don't worry about that. So all things will be taken care and are being taken care. Right,
Yeah, I
Prerna ji?
understand.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yes,
so
definitely.
thank you. So yeah, Rahul, I think I have answered. Yeah. You have any other
Okay.
question?
Yeah, business, the slide which was shown by the information management, information technology, business information, business strategy. So I was thinking business strategy is almost ongoing. First, you make a business strategy, right? And then implement business processes, because business strategy is at a very high level. For example, CEOs, they make a decision that you cannot buy Salesforce because, Salesforce is very expensive and our operations are not so complex. We just buy, Monday.com right now because we're only a 4-people organization. Why do we need Siebel or, Salesforce or such a complicated, Salesforce application? We only are in a very small tier market. We are a 5-people organization. We don't need that complicated application. So I think so business strategy also guides information technology and buying, we don't need 20 computers. We only need 5.
So
we don't need such a complex system.
yeah, so let me just interrupt you over here. So guys, remaining of you who are listening, don't get overwhelmed based on the Rahul's sharing, because he is coming from the organization, what he is experiencing, whatever the tools he has named, like Monday.com, Sibels and all. So these are the tools people use in the organization. And to answer you in detail, these things are not your pain area at this moment, Rahul, right? Because these things are decisive area, and that's already being taken decision, are being decided by the organization itself. So don't worry about that, and you don't have to take the decision, but you can simply put in your suggestion, strategize. It's all about project manager or product owner's responsibility. You can simply encourage them to take the decision. Okay, so don't worry about these entire jargon. So when you will enter inside the learning, I want you to come with the learning, with not with the experience. Learning mindset will let you learn more in deeper level, and you will understand what is going inside the organization, whether it is right or not, and what is your experience, how you can add value to your organization, because the core intent is to add value. If you are discounting this core intent, the success will be very, very, very far. Okay, and when you will have this intent, you will find yourself, you, even if you are just business analyst, you can add a total different level to the organization. Okay, and whatever you are talking about, strategizing or talking about business strategy or something, so in a different area, from different level, you can keep on adding the value. But these are not limited inside the business analysis job. Okay, I mean, these are not part of exactly business analyst role. Okay, so these, being in agile, you are giving that exposure as well. I'm not sure what exactly you are working as a scrum master, or you are working as a product owner, or you are working as a scrum master, because one fine day in the one-to-one session, you told us that you are working as a scrum master. Now you are telling that you are working as a business analyst. We need to define what is your roles and responsibilities. So we can talk about this later in the later one-to-one, whenever you choose to, or when Prerna ji would be there. So that's all is all about. Just come up with the open mind. You can ask about the subject, keep learning, go ahead, apply in your job. If you find any hindrance, come back and ask question and get the solution for that. Don't even think of past experiences, what exactly has happened wrong or not, or what has never happened, and you are thinking that may happen in the future. Okay, so we will talk about those experiences and we will just resolve them out. Yeah,
Gaurav,
Nisha ji. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, is Rahul trying to say that business strategy should come before business processes? Rahul, were you trying to say that the order should be before business processes?
Not really, but I'm just saying business strategy is at a very high organization level. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So process will come under strategy. So yeah, just to, if you are asking simple this question, that to answer it as yes, process will follow the strategy. Okay, Prerna ji, you want to add something and ask any other question to any other one?
I think the explanation is quite decent and it's very good the way you had shared. So I just wanted to check with others that we have reached towards end, and I think it's almost 11 p.m. over there now. So yes, as we always end our session, um, one word for this today's takeout would be, and I would like to start with myself. So for me, it was super informative, and I would like to call out Nisha ji.
Excellent. Chanchal.
Interesting. Mayank.
Knowledgeable, Nisha.
Nisha ji is done. Take some other name, please.
Deepthi.
Very informative for me. I learned a lot today. And I think Rahul ji is left now. Rahul.
Priya is also left. Yes.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, Rahul. Rahul, you have to give a takeaway of today's session, like how you find it interesting, knowledgeable, confusing, or whatever, heavy or easy, whatever you felt. So yes, please share your views.
Or any one word which comes, which
One
sums
word.
up this today's session in your
Perfect.
mind.
Yes.
I would say challenging and creative.
Challenging and creative. Yeah, call out
Super.
someone's
So
name.
for first session, yes. I think Priya is left.
Yeah, yeah, it was interesting and informative at the same time. Yes.
Yes. Superb. I think we have covered all. So I think nobody's left, right? So yes, thank you so much, guys. We are almost 10 minutes ahead of your time. Not 10, 6 minutes, I would say. But thank you so much for this understanding and try to realize this thing that this is an ongoing journey. All these topics are like oceans in itself. What we do is we try to get the important concepts or the information which is required for you, which is useful for you in real life or real world. We try to bring it on the table and discuss all that with you. So feel free to explore, watch Guru School's videos on YouTube, watch other tracks, if you want to explore more and keep learning. And me and Goroji are always there to support you, guide you, and help you through this. So yes, over to you, Goroji.
Yeah. So by the way, I was expecting that Priya will call out my name at the end, but she missed
Oh
that.
yes, I missed
Oh,
that. I
sorry
missed it.
about
So
that.
sorry. Yes, Goroji, over to you.
So let Priya call my name because.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
Gaurav.
sure.
Yeah, Gaurav, on to you.
Okay, thank you, and it was really interesting, engaging, and creative too. And thank you so much for asking question, getting engaged, and getting clarified. So truly enjoy today's session, working with you, and looking forward to support you more in coming days. Thank you so much.
Hey, Gauravji, I have a few questions if you don't mind after the session because I came in between.
Okay, so just send me a chat message and we'll see, yeah, before we reconnect. Yeah,
You want
okay.
me to send the chat message after the meeting has ended? Okay.
Yes, yeah, thank you,
Because
guys.
I think because we could
All
not
right, thank you,
clarify through chat,
everyone.
that's why.
Bye.
Bye. Rahul, you can end, stay back, okay, and rest can leave. Yeah, so
No, is it something related to business analysis only? Then
I
we
don't
will
think
discuss.
because
No, it is not. It's just cosmetic.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, thank you. So let me stop the recording.